All right. So let's say you're about to give a speech and you want to really knock it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a deep dive this time into advice from public speaking expert Connor Neal,
Okay.
who knows a thing or two about captivating an audience from the very first word.
Yeah, and I find it really interesting that even though Neil is talking to a room full of business professionals,
Yeah.
his advice is totally applicable to anyone who wants to be just a more effective communicator
Yeah.
in any situation, really.
It's true. And we've all been there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sitting through those presentations where the speaker starts with, my name's is so-and-so, I'm from this place, and I'm here to talk about this.
Yeah.
And you just
Yeah, your eyes just glaze over.
Yeah.
Like clockwork.
It's like, okay, here we go.
Neil calls those autopilot intros, and he is not a fan.
Yeah.
He says they're actually worse than a kid giving a presentation on giraffes at school.
Ouch.
I know.
He's not wrong, though.
No, he's not wrong.
It's like you're instantly signaling to your audience that this is going to be boring and all about you.
Yeah.
Not about them.
It's like that moment at a networking event where somebody comes up to you and just starts listing off their resume.
Totally.
And you're like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get out of here.
Like, okay, how do I exit this conversation gracefully?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, how do you avoid being that guy?
Yeah.
What's the better way to start?
So Neil says a good opening poses a question
Right.
that speaks directly to the audience's interest or challenges.
So instead of, hi, I'm here to talk about networking,
Yeah.
you could say something like, how many of you feel awkward at networking events?
Exactly. It
Yeah.
instantly gets people thinking
Yeah.
and engaged.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
They're like, wait, somebody gets me.
yeah, this person understands.
Finally.
Someone who understands.
Yeah. And maybe they have a solution.
Right.
They have some answers. Okay, I like that. But Neil says there's an even better way to open a speech.
Okay.
And it involves, shocking the audience with a mind-blowing fact.
Ooh, I like it.
Like a little bit of shock therapy.
Okay, give me an example.
Okay, so he gave this one. More people are alive today than have ever died.
Wow.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
That's amazing.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I could see how that would make people,
Yeah.
sit up and pay attention.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, because it's so unexpected. It's
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, and then you want to hear more.
You want to know more?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're sparking that curiosity
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah. He also had one about how the sun's energy reaching Earth in just 2 minutes equals humanity's entire annual energy usage.
What?
Crazy, right?
That's wild.
I know.
Okay, so little mental firecrackers
Yeah.
that you're throwing at the
Yeah,
audience.
it's just like, boom,
Yeah, they're like, whoa.
I'm awake.
What is going on?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, but he takes this even a step further with what he calls the best opening of all.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Lay it on me.
All right, so he calls this the grown-up once upon a time.
Ooh, that sounds intriguing.
Wait, tell me more.
Okay, so what is that?
Yeah.
He says it's the most powerful way to start both a speech and a story
Okay.
because it taps into something really deep within us.
Interesting.
Think back to when you were a kid.
Okay.
You hear those words, once upon a time.
Yeah.
It was like a magic spell that just transported you to another world.
Yeah, you were instantly hooked.
Right?
Yeah, you're like, okay, I'm ready to listen.
Totally.
Tell me this story.
We're hardwired for stories.
Yeah.
They totally bypass all our logical defenses, and they just create this instant emotional connection.
For sure.
But how do you do that in a
Yeah.
professional setting, right? Without sounding like you're reading a children's book.
Yeah, you don't want to be like, once upon a time, there was this company
Right, exactly.
that had a big profit.
Yeah. How do you make this grown up and professional?
That's the clever part.
Okay.
So Neil suggests replacing that literal once upon a time
Okay.
with a personal anecdote
Okay.
that explains why this topic matters to you.
So instead of saying, once upon a time there was a problem with networking,
Yeah.
you could share an experience from your own life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That illustrates the
It
interest.
shows this is why we should care about this.
Yeah, the last time I was at a networking event, I felt so lost and awkward, I wanted to disappear.
Right.
Or I used to be terrified of public speaking
Uh-huh.
until I learned this one technique that changed everything.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah, and it's instantly
Yeah.
you're building trust with the audience.
Yeah, because you're sharing a little bit of vulnerability.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I've been there.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
And this is what helped me.
Right.
Let me share it with you.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're on a journey together.
Yeah.
And that's powerful.
Yeah, it's super powerful.
Okay, so we're not just lecturing at people. We're
No.
connecting.
Yeah, you're inviting them in.
We're being vulnerable.
You're on the same journey together.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, I figured some things out. Maybe this will help you too.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like you're saying, hey, I've been there. I get it. And here's what helped me.
Right.
That's so much more compelling than just lecturing at people.
Absolutely. And speaking of lecturing,
Yeah.
Neil actually warns against relying too heavily on facts and figures in your speeches.
Really? I would thought data is king, especially if you're talking to business professionals.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
Data alone doesn't really move people to action.
Okay.
Think about it. What really sticks with you after a presentation? Is it the pie charts or is it the stories?
Oh, the stories for sure.
Exactly.
I can't even remember what I had for breakfast, let alone
Right.
the statistics from a presentation last month.
Right.
Right.
Neil argues that it's that human element.
Okay.
The emotions, the connections we forge through stories.
Yeah.
That's what resonates and makes a lasting impact.
Okay. So data is important, but it's not the whole story.
It's not the whole story.
Yeah.
It's like the supporting actor,
Mm-hmm.
not the star of the show.
I mean, even the most data-driven people are still human Ryans.
Of course.
We all crave connection. We crave meaning.
Exactly. So instead of just throwing data at your audience,
Yeah.
Neil suggests weaving in those personal anecdotes,
Yeah.
case studies,
Yeah.
or even just humorous observations throughout your speech.
So it's like little flavor bursts.
Exactly.
You need that.
That make the dish more satisfying.
Yeah, you don't want it to be bland.
You don't want it to be bland. No.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so we've talked about how to start strong,
Yeah.
how to connect with the audience on an emotional level.
Mm-hmm.
What about the structure of the speech itself?
Okay.
Was there a magic formula?
So Neil doesn't give a rigid formula,
Okay.
but he does emphasize the importance of clarity
Okay.
and simplicity.
So no rambling on and on like my GPS sometimes.
No rambling, no.
Okay.
He says, think of your speech like a roadmap.
Okay, I like that.
You want to guide your audience
Okay.
through the information in a way that's easy to follow and understand.
Yeah, you don't want them to get lost.
You don't want them to get lost.
Okay, what about visual aids?
Okay.
Are they helpful or are they just a distraction?
So Neil believes visuals can be incredibly powerful tools,
Okay.
but only if they're used strategically.
Yeah.
He advises against using too many slides or overly complex graphics.
Yeah, no one wants death by PowerPoint.
Nobody wants death by PowerPoint.
Right. All right.
The key is to use visuals to enhance your message,
Okay.
not distract from it.
Like they're the supporting actors,
Exactly.
not the stars.
Not the stars of the show.
Okay, so we've covered crafting a compelling opening,
Yeah.
connecting with the audience,
Yeah. Mhm.
structuring your speech,
Yeah.
and using visuals effectively.
Yep.
What else should we keep in mind?
Okay.
Is there a secret sauce?
So Neil doesn't have a literal secret sauce recipe,
Okay.
but he does stress the importance of practice
Okay.
and preparation.
So no winging it?
No winging it.
Okay.
He encourages speakers to rehearse their presentations multiple times,
Wow.
not just to memorize the content,
Okay.
but to refine their delivery and their timing.
It's like anything else, the more you practice,
Yeah,
the more comfortable and confident you become.
absolutely.
Okay, so even if you're super nervous,
Hmm.
practice is going to help.
And remember, even the most experienced speakers get nervous.
Oh, yeah?
The key is to channel that nervous energy
Okay.
into a passionate and engaging delivery.
Okay, so if we could sum up all this wisdom from Connor Neal
Yeah.
into one key takeaway,
Okay.
what would it be?
I think Neil sums it up perfectly.
Okay.
Don't just inform, connect.
Ooh, I like that.
Focus on building a rapport with your audience,
Yeah.
sharing stories that resonate with them,
Mm.
and delivering your message with passion and authenticity.
It's about making them feel something, not just telling them something.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that's what ultimately makes a speech memorable and impactful,
Mhm.
makes it stick.
This has been such an insightful deep dive into the art of public speaking.
You know, it's funny.
What's up?
Neil focuses mainly on how to start a speech,
Yeah,
but he doesn't really say much about how to end one.
that's true.
Yeah.
And I think that's something a lot of people struggle with too. It's
Yeah.
you've built up all this momentum.
Yeah.
You deliver this amazing message,
Uh-huh.
and then
And then you're like,
you kind of fizzle out.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, thanks.
Like a gymnast.
Oh, yeah.
Sticking the landing.
Right.
You got to finish strong.
Exactly. So how do you do that?
Right.
How do you leave a lasting impression?
Yeah. So even though Neil doesn't explicitly address the ending,
Okay.
I think we can still apply some of his principles here.
Like what?
Well, just as a strong opening grabs attention,
Right.
a powerful closing should leave the audience with something,
Okay.
to think about something, to feel something to act upon.
Okay, so no trailing off with a week. That's it.
No,
Wrap
no.
it up.
You don't want to leave them hanging.
Right.
Instead, think about ending with like a call to action
Okay.
or a thought-provoking question
Yeah.
or even a return to the story or anecdote that you used in your opening.
So it's like bringing the whole speech full circle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It reinforces your message.
It's like bookends.
Yeah, it's like bookends.
Okay.
A nice sense of closure,
Right.
but also leaving the audience wanting more.
Okay, so we've learned how to grab the audience's attention from the start.
Yeah.
Keep them engaged throughout the speech. And leave them with a powerful takeaway at the end.
That's
This feels like a complete roadmap to becoming a more compelling speaker.
Yeah, and you know what's even better?
What's that?
These techniques aren't just for formal presentations. You can use them in any situation
Oh, yeah.
where you're trying to communicate effectively, whether
Yeah.
it's, pitching an idea at work, telling a story at a dinner party,
Yeah.
or even just having a conversation with a friend.
Yeah. It's all about making that connection,
Yeah.
sparking that curiosity, and sharing your message in a way that truly resonates.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the next time you find yourself needing to capture someone's attention,
Yeah.
remember Connor Neal's advice.
Okay.
Start strong, tell stories, be authentic, and end with a bang.
You might just surprise yourself with how much more persuasive and engaging you become.
I think you will.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.